thoughts, opinions, and general overall shade thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Oh, yeah. Good morning, everybody. That's right. It is Tuesday, June 11th, and today is National Forklift Safety Day, Rico.
Man.
Yes. Shout out to all the forklift drivers out there. It's also National Call Your Doctor Day, because we know why you called in sick to work. It's also National Making Life Beautiful Day. I think that should be every day, because life is beautiful.
Agreed.
Yes. It's also, oh, you're going to love this, Rico. This is your favorite, National German Chocolate Cake Day. Mm-hmm.
Well, why is it my favorite?
Uh-huh. And it's also National Corn on the Cob Day.
I love that.
Yes.
That's your favorite.
I bet that's Jenny's favorite, corn on the cob. Mm-hmm. Thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above on your screen to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. But kicking it off first, that's right, it's the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte, the Quasimodo caretaker, the baby daddy diaper changer, and, of course, the dope dad overall. That's right, it is none other than Mr. Rico Lamitte.
Oh, yeah, Jason. Thank you, Jason.
Yes.
Good to see you in the studio.
Yeah, and Adam is in today, too.
Oh, my God. We got full house.
Yes.
On Friday, he'll be over there, too.
Mm-hmm.
He's over there.
That's right.
All right, but got some great news to talk about this morning, and something that even Jason Beck can appreciate as we talk about more European countries coming to their senses and joining the global cannabis community.
Mm-hmm.
So the Central European country of Slovenia has historically been known for its natural beauty, food, and culture. But over the last decade, America has become increasingly more aware of the small nation's most notable contributions to global society, like Dallas Mavericks superstar Luka Doncic, the wooden chainsaw carved statue of Melania Trump, and now cannabis. According to MJ Biz Daily, a majority of Slovenia voters sent a message to their newly elected government: approve a medical cannabis program and personal use of the drug or else. No, really. The news came first from the Slovenia Times, which reported that 66.6, mark of the beast right there, 66.6% of Slovenian voters taking part in this past Sunday's election supported legislating cultivation and processing of medical marijuana, while 51.6% backed the cultivation and possession of cannabis for limited personal use. Let's hear it for Slovenia. Can we get another round of applause for Slovenia in the building? And I'm sure Madam Trump was over there getting her cannabis lobbying on ahead of the vote, which explains the former First Lady's absence from both her husband's presidential re-election campaign, as well as his seemingly endless court dates. But I digress. MJ Biz Daily said that both Slovenian cannabis proposals were considered consultation measures and thus are not legally binding, according to a blog post from the International Cannabis Business Conference, which hosts industry networking and trade shows around the world. However, the Slovenia votes highlight public sentiment on the need to change cannabis policies in the Central European country. More than 35% of eligible Slovenians voted, or roughly 600,000 people in total. This is great news, in my opinion, for the people of Slovenia, who most likely will soon be gaining access to the greatest medicine on earth, because European elections actually follow the sentiment of their people, not unlike America. But also, it'll be a big boon for Europeans abroad, because they will have yet another option other than Germany, Malta, the few of the European countries that have legalized or allowed medical. Gonna have another option there too. So big ups to Slovenia. We'll be watching that one closely. Hopefully the needle moves pretty quickly for them. And go Dallas Mavericks. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for I9 News. Let's talk about it.
Mark Cuban.
Go Mags.
Mark Cuban is Slovenian. Why'd you say Dallas? Go Dallas Mavericks.
No, he's Cuban, Jason. God, don't you get anything?
Okay.
Luka, come on, man.
Luka, they're superstars.
I was confused. I needed the clarification.
And Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
Two of the dopest in the game right now. They need to pick it up.
Flat earther, Kyrie Irving.
I don't think he's that dope. I don't know if you watched that game. Kyrie's putting up mad bricks, but that's probably because he's cursed, because he disrespected the spirit of the Beantown, basketball fans, and that's a no-no. That's a no-no. He's paying for it, bro. He's paying for it. That's why Boston's up 2-0. Dallas is gonna get swept. Watch, and it's because Kyrie Irving has bad karma in Boston. That's how it goes.
Maybe the good news will boost in the right direction. And
I don't know, bro. I don't think so.
Okay. But anyways, Slovenia. Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be going over to Slovenia anytime soon?
I'm down to take a trip to Slovenia and go and check out their scene.
Yeah. I really want to take a selfie with that Melania Trump sculpture.
I'm down.
You just want to touch it, Rico. It's okay.
It was burned down. That's how much respect they have for her. They burned the first one down. It was this wooden sculpture cut by chainsaw.
Well, I think they probably burned it down because it didn't. They could have done a better job with it, so they wanted to make a better rendition for her.
No. They replaced it. They replaced it as the same exact mold in bronze.
So they improved it.
It was just a Burning Man. It was a Burning Man structure.
It looks now. It looks even worse than the wooden one. The wooden one was trash, and the bronze one is garbage.
Trashier.
I don't know. I mean, do we have a picture of it? Do we have a picture of this?
Please, Adam. Adam, if you can.
Adam, can we find a picture of Miss Melania in Slovenia?
I love that Adam's like our own
the original one went up in smoke.
The original one. Oh man. Oh look, Adam's finding it. Adam is.
Please find her porn pictures. That would be awesome.
Whoa. This is a morning show, Todd.
Jesus Christ.
Not on the East Coast.
Fair enough. I guess in the UK and Slovenia it's already after 5 p.m. So I guess you're kind of right about that.
If you're going to show porn pictures, at least go through the archives and bring up mine, too. I need my 15 seconds of fame.
Whoa. Whoa, you guys.
Signing off.
That is good stuff, that statue. That looks just like her.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Oh, wow.
This is the first thing the aliens are going to see, guys.
This is going to be terrible for them. They're going to make a U-turn.
She looks hotter in real life.
She does look hotter in real life.
We wonder why Trump sex with porn stars.
In front of that thing, though? I would.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm down. I'd go and smoke one right there for sure, 100%.
The landscape is absolutely gorgeous out there.
I mean,
we saw footage of you in Germany yesterday. We know you're an international man. I'm sure there's not a country that you wouldn't want to blaze one in.
You are 100% right about that, Yarrow. Without a doubt, I am an international man of intrigue for sure.
Yeah. So,
Might want to stay out of Bali. Smoke some weed in Bali.
Fair, yeah.
Singapore might not be a good look either.
Well, you know, the thing about it is you can smoke in any of these countries. You just can't get caught smoking in all of these countries.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's a
where else
Footage of Jason getting lashed
in
with a
Europe
bamboo stick.
is medical and adult use?
See?
So where else? I'm asking.
Wait, so,
Like Germany.
what do you? I don't understand the question, Rico.
Where else in Europe has it been legalized?
I think Poland,
Everywhere,
Germany,
almost everywhere in Europe.
No.
Malta.
Italy.
No.
Yeah.
For medicinal use, but
Ton,
it's
yeah,
also-
for medicinal, all use is medicinal use as far as I'm concerned.
There's a 64-year-old UN ruling that states that they have an agreement that they won't allow recreational drug use. So, like the countries like Germany that are pushing forward with recreational guidelines.
But Amsterdam, they have legal drug use.
The king is not as progressive as the queen and was trying to introduce weed pass once.
But aren't they?
Hold on, Saman. Hold on. Let her finish talking. Hold on. Let her finish talking. Go ahead, Jenny.
I mean, but I think that's a false statement. Just saying.
Okay,
I think
well,
that's
what you
like
said the other day was false. What do you want from me? You can Google it. Don't.
the other day.
So listen, the king is not as progressive as the queen was, and was trying to scroll back kind of some of the things that they've come forward with, as far as coffee shops and things like that. Now, if you want to argue, let's go. Ding ding, round two.
My only argument would be
I'm just saying. They have like actually state-sponsored drug use in Amsterdam and Netherlands. So, I mean that's like maybe it's medicinal, maybe it's not recreational. I guess it's all subjective based on like how they're stating the use. But I mean, like Europe is more progressive on drugs in general than anywhere else, I would say.
Yeah, and I wonder.
Maybe Portland. Maybe
progressive on pretty much everything.
And there is a trend that's happening throughout Europe where a lot of these different countries are rejecting the policies of the EU. So I guess we're going to stand by and continue to watch these developments.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't backtrack on the cannabis progress, because there's a lot of progress going on.
And I think it's also worth, since we in the spirit of disagreement this morning, it is worth saying that while in your mind you may think that all cannabis use is medical, the rest of the world does divide cannabis use according to medical programs.
They can all be wrong, Yarrow. It doesn't matter.
And so for our viewers who still see this show as a source of information and intel, yes, we still need to distinguish between those countries or submarkets that are adult use versus medical.
Right.
Yep. Are you so smart today, Yarrow, because you got your glasses on today?
Yeah, Yarrow's glasses make.
Yeah, exactly.
So the glasses give me a plus 12 on my IQ.
I'm with that.
And I don't have to do the Clint Eastwood squint. I got a lot of feedback in the chat. The viewers thought I was like giving them the hairy eyeball, and I was like, no, I'm just trying to see here, guys. I'm just trying to see.
Fair enough.
So I'm squintless. The other thing I think that's also important is, like, is there a world in which we have a Melania Trump statue in every one of these EU countries as an homage to one of the most fearless first ladies in the history of this country? And what she had to do, taking one for the team in a way that Stormy Daniels can't even begin to imagine.
Oh boy, I knew this.
The
was gonna go
regularity
sideways.
of her service to this country in pursuit of a harmonious marriage with a gentleman who's anything but sexy. My hat is off to her. Just not my Jimmy hat.
We should get Jaime.
She is. What's that?
We should get Jaime to create a smokable joint in the shape.
Oh, we should. We should reach out to Weavers and have them make a smokable Melania Trump statue of this in commensuration of the.
I mean, because you vote right. I thought you were already going to say she's a smoke show.
No, I was going to say she is the hottest first lady that we have ever had in the White House.
True.
I was going to say that.
That's true.
I don't know, dude. Eleanor Roosevelt, when I have to have a good fantasy, that's the one who comes to mind for me. I just go, Eleanor.
I mean, maybe you just have bad taste, Yarrow. I don't know what to tell you.
ChatGPT can show you what Martha Washington looked like.
Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to keep this train. We're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll right on into a commercial, and we're going to be right back.
Oh man, that was weird. Hey, you America. Do I look like Sean Connery? Good morning, America. Saman Razani coming to you live from sunny Los Angeles, California with the one and only highest host, Mr. Jason Beck, smoking on the best weed in the world. Did you know that we have an audio-only version of our podcast? You can find it on Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. No excuses in 2024. If you haven't checked us out, check it out now. And also, check out what the Prophet's doing in 2024.
By the way, yesterday...
Yeah.
Did you guys know yesterday there was a thumbs up smiley face emoji in front of my face for a third of the show?
Are you bragging or complaining?
I didn't know that Jason was... All right.
I'm so thirsty for attention. I'll take that, but I just didn't know.
Yarrow, we got to keep this train rolling, Yarrow.
Up next, he's a high at 9 news head honcho, known for smoking the best weed in the world, the highest Republican in every room. Oh, is he higher than Jenny Beth?
Of course I am.
He's the highest, I'm the hottest. We've agreed.
Coming to the stage next is
that's up for debate still.
Cannabis DEI, Jason.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Rico. Hope you all are having an amazing day today. So I have some great news. Some of you are probably going to say that it's terrible news, but I am really excited about this news. Because as you all know, with this Schedule 3 debacle, it's all lies within the hands of the DEA. And a top Biden health official hints at a DEA resistance to marijuana rescheduling move, you guys. That's right, the DEA may be the one that saves us from Schedule 3. President Joe Biden's health secretary is suggesting that federal drug enforcement officials are not necessarily on board with the administration's plan to reschedule marijuana. Asked about the status of the proposed move of cannabis to Schedule 3, the Controlled Substances Act, at a recent event in Sacramento, U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra said the agency took action based on available science and evidence, saying that the ball is now in the Department of Justice's court. He dodged a follow-up question, however, about rumored pushback against the reform by Drug Enforcement Administration officials, and in a quote, "We did our job," Becerra said of the recommendation in an interview with KQED's Scott Schaefer at the Cal Matters Ideas Festival on Thursday, adding that the DEA now has the final call to make that happen. Is there resistance in the DEA? Schaefer inquired. Javier Becerra responds and says, "Talk to the DEA," repeating, "We did our job." I mean, this is just more of the Biden administration. Oh, boy, oh, boy. And another follow-up question, Schaefer asked, "I'm going to take that as a yes," Schaefer replied. He also says, "Our scientists reviewed the evidence," Becerra responded, "and FDA bases his actions on the science and the evidence before us. We took action." I think that's all he knows how to say. But nonetheless, during the interview, Schaefer also asked Becerra whether he has any concerns as the father of 3 daughters, 3 children, about the use of marijuana. And he says, "I have concerns when they get out and drive a car, or they go out at night and they're over 21. I have lots of concerns," Becerra said. "Thank God they've got great heads on their shoulders, and on something like cannabis, I think they would continue to have great heads on their shoulders too." In another quote, "Look, if my daughters could go out and buy a pint of whiskey or a menthol cigarette, we know what we're up against," he continued. "And let's be real, you can't incarcerate your way to a solution here. You can regulate it, and you can regulate it the right way, which we're supposed to do for alcohol and cigarettes and all the rest. Then we can manage it, but we have to make a decision," he says. More than half of the states have made the decision that they'd rather regulate this than criminalize it, Becerra added of medical marijuana, and says that the U.S. FDA, the scientists have spoken and said we should deschedule from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 on cannabis. Well, that's not a deschedule, so that he's messing up. What he should have said is we need to deschedule it and screw Schedule 3, but oh well, they all have gaffes in this administration. Becerra's handling of the question about resistance at the DEA comes amid ongoing speculation over the internal politics with the administration on marijuana's rescheduling. Indications that DEA might not be on board came alongside the rescheduling move itself, with the proposed rule in the Federal Register, noting that several times that the agency believes additional information needs to be collected via public comment or a possible administrative hearing could influence the final scheduling decision. In a quote, DEA has not yet made a determination as to its views of the appropriate schedule for marijuana, the document said, adding to questions about a possible disconnect between DOJ and DEA over the proposal is the fact that the Attorney General, rather than the DEA administrator, signed the draft rule. Even before the formal announcement, it had been reported that certain DEA officials had been at odds with the Biden administration over the rescheduling push. A DEA official who also absent last week from a scheduled appearance to discuss marijuana policy and regulatory oversight issues for cannabinoid research. The moderator of that panel said the DEA representative canceled that at the last moment. DEA did, however, issue a message to attendees that the agency's goal is to support researchers as they navigate this registration process and to study Schedule I drugs like cannabis, and outreach is a key component of their model to provide that support, according to the moderator. The proposed rule to federally reschedule marijuana was officially posted last month, kicking off a public comment period that's expected to elicit a major responses from the supporters and opponents of cannabis reform. And marijuana reform advocates and stakeholders have made clear that they intend to leverage the opportunity, with some planning to support the reclassification and others intending to call for descheduling cannabis altogether. Prohibitionists are expected to oppose the incremental policy change and still seek to keep marijuana in the Schedule I, and there's also a looming threat of litigation. While DOJ will take all public comments submitted by July 22nd into consideration as it weighs the reform, it said in the notice that one of the topics is especially interested in hearing about is the unique economic impacts of the rescheduling proposal, given that the state-level legalization has created a multi-billion-dollar industry that stands to benefit from possible federal tax relief under that reform. On Capitol Hill, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat from New York, and colleagues have reintroduced legislation to federally legalize cannabis and impose certain regulations. The bill's prospects are dubious in the current divided Congress, however. Well, not to mention it's a trash bill, too, but I do support descheduling. And meanwhile, the top Democrats in the U.S. House said that the Biden administration's move to reschedule marijuana is a step in the right direction, but it should be followed up with congressional action, such as passing the legalization bill Schumer filed. In a recent interview with Fox News, and former DEA Administrator Asa Hutchinson said it absolutely looks like the agency will follow through with moving marijuana from Schedule I to Schedule III under the CSA. Biden has separately issued 2 rounds of mass pardons for people who've committed federal marijuana possession offenses, and again, a Schedule III reclassification would not legalize cannabis for cannabis or free people still incarcerated over cannabis. And during his run for the presidency, Biden pledged to move cannabis to Schedule II, a stricter category compared to what's been proposed by his administration, you guys. Well, the blunders keep on coming from this administration, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this. This is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News Hour. What do y'all have to say?
How many times have we talked about this, Jason?
We're going to keep talking about it.
And also, menthol cigarettes. Doesn't that kind of sound like, remember in Prohibition where they had the sign that said that smoking marijuana made nice white girls listen to jazz music and dance with black men? Mm-hmm. Newport cigarettes. That's racist. Menthol cigarettes. They've already outlawed those. We can't have menthol either.
Jenny Beth, you try to call me out. Try to say I was gonna say something about it.
Oh, I told you I was on it, Rico. I told you I was on it. I'm all jacked up on Diet Coke and caffeine this morning. We're going.
That's what it's called?
I love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what it's called. Ozempic.
No, whoa.
Ozempic.
Whoa.
I think the reference to mentholated cigarettes is because flavored tobacco in general, there's been an argument that that's targeted towards teens. I'm not sure we can pull in the race conversation with it, but I appreciate the attempt.
Menthols have been targeted at the black communities.
Rico,
that's been proven. There's been like multiple lawsuits against big tobacco on that. Like menthol 100% is targeted at black communities.
That part is true.
And they've admitted it as a company. What did President Obama smoke? Hold on, I'll wait.
You know it. 'Cause he was targeted.
He was smoking the giant pole of compromise.
I thought he smoked cools.
Also that. No, he's smoking Newports.
I see what you did there.
You saw what I did there. It's going to be spicy today.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Welcome.
Let's talk about it Tuesday.
I thought it was kind of weird that the Becerra guy said that his daughters give good head.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa! He said that they have good heads on their shoulders, as if they have good dandruff control.
Ready for it this morning. I love it.
I misheard that. I apologize.
I'm glad that you said that though, Todd.
How dare you?
I mean, I thought we agreed before this show that we were going to set our phasers to stun. Because you just stunned me. I cannot believe that came out of your mouth. It is so good for me to be the second craziest guy on the show.
He's can't wait till his daughters turn 21.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Yeah.
I think the
I heard what I heard. I can't.
I do want to talk about the article for a second.
Go for it. Go for it, Yarrow.
I think this is what disappoints me today. This guy, as a government employee, said, well, we did our job. We did our job as code for I don't really care about the outcome. I just care about my own perceived accountability.
I totally agree with that assessment, 100%.
And that is just a shame because if you have a North Star, if you care about outcomes, if you care about tangible results, if you care about change, if you care about progress, if you care about forward momentum, that kind of statement doesn't come out of your mouth.
I totally agree with you 100% on that, Yarrow. To me, when I heard him say that, I was like, oh, these guys don't care about this. They're just strictly doing this to pander to voters to try to gain some votes for this November's election, and they don't really give a shit about it. And that's probably one of the reasons that they chose Schedule 3, because they know that it will cripple the industry overall. I did find it extremely interesting, though, that the DEA, that they said that in the public comment portion, that one of the things that they are looking for is comments around the economic feasibility of moving it to Schedule 3. So I would encourage everyone that is worried about Schedule 3 to make sure that they are talking about those type of economic benefits and how Schedule 3 will ruin all of those economic benefits, because no one's going to be able to sell weed under Schedule 3.
Right. And I think it's also really important to acknowledge the DEA has already made comment. They've already publicly said that they're not signing this. Like that, this was just the Biden administration trying to frog hop on an election year. Frog hop. Todd, you got me all confused with the crazy commentary. But I mean, this is crazy. So ask the DEA. They said no notes in the meetings, and they said we're not signing it. So if they agreed, there would be a signature.
And then they're going to put their hands up and say, we did our job.
Exactly.
We did our job.
Exactly.
I mean, when I read that quote, I felt like I was dealing with two 11-year-old kids. I told one to clean up the pool toys and the other one to fold the towels, and the one said, I did my job.
Right? It is a very elementary school type of response.
You missed the floater in the pool.
Oh, boy.
I did my job.
That's Melania. Do not disrespect her. She's just stunning.
Well, on that, we're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll right into Mr. Yarrow Kubrin. He's the Sebastopol sage and does cannabis, real estate, and every once in a while when there's some money in cannabis, he will get some cannabis real estate money as well. That's right. Coming for In Zone Properties is none other than Mr. Yarrow Kubrin.
Crowd goes wild.
Good morning, good morning. I really want to do like a Robin Williams, like good morning Vietnam, but I don't know. I don't think that really aged well, and it's not as funny as I'd like it to be. But yeah, well, good morning everybody out there, and thank you so much for tuning in to what is arguably the only daily news show covering cannabis and hemp news internationally. This is Yarrow Kubrin. My article today is about the gift that keeps on giving, which is New York City and their dumpster fire of a rollout. So without further ado, from Spectrum Local News, Hochul appoints a new leadership to New York State Office of Cannabis Management after assessment. Ha, ha, ha. Governor Kathy Hochul made 3 new leadership appointments to the New York Office of Cannabis Management, her office said Monday, following an assessment of the office targeted to find opportunities for improvement amid the legal cannabis rollout. Among the appointments, is Felicia A.B. Reed as the executive deputy director and acting executive director. A nationwide search is underway for a permanent executive director, and Hochul said the governor's office will work with an experienced recruitment firm to identify qualified candidates from across the state and the country. Hochul said back in May that the executive director, Chris Alexander, would step down at the end of his term in September following a damning report that showed sweeping department inefficiencies. I'm committed to ensuring New York's nation-leading cannabis market continues to thrive, Hochul said in a statement. With these new appointees, the Office of Cannabis Management will continue to focus on expanding the most equitable adult use market in the nation while cracking down on illicit storefronts. Let me reread that because I almost threw up on those words. With these new appointees, the Office of Cannabis Management will continue to focus on expanding the most equitable adult use market in the nation while cracking down on illicit storefronts. Hochul said the new leadership aims to end the bottleneck of license applicants, improve communication with applicants and licensees, and reaffirm the agency's commitment to the social equity goals codified in the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act that was passed in 2021. Hochul earlier this spring also expressed immense displeasure with the Office of Cannabis Management's plan to approve 3 licenses and the agency's slow actions since legal challenges that stalled the market rollout were settled last fall and launched an assessment in early May to improve operations. So I'm going to hold fire. I want to hear what the rest of my amazing panelists and pundits have to say about yet another piece of news coming out of what is arguably one of the most important cannabis markets in the country. This is Yarrow Kubrin, High at 9 News. I leave it to the rest of you. What do you think?
I feel like this is just the new fall guy, Yarrow. This is just the new fall guy stepping up. Sure. The person who's going to fall on the sword the next time, as soon as there's a new whatever. But this, I don't think this person is going to change anything.
Fall gal.
Are you saying, Jay, there's no hope for New York cannabis?
I'm saying there's no hope under their Democratic leadership.
Listen, man, I don't think anybody should take that bait. But what I will say, you know what? I'm starting to develop a little different view on New York when you look at it, man. Because from an economic standpoint,
can't wait to hear this.
They have more consumers than anybody else, right? And they have a limited amount of product. The rest of everything else is probably, it's not going to come along any timeline that they can predict or anything. It's going to shake itself out. And I think from a business standpoint, I'm not saying from the people's standpoint or anything, but from a business standpoint, I still think New York is going to be the big winner when it's all said and done.
How long will that take, though?
They have a limited amount of product. They have unlimited demand right now, limited options, and so many people want premium shit there in New York because it's New York. So I think from an economic standpoint, like New York is still a buy.
It's still a
when it comes to the overall industry. You just don't know who the winners are going to be because Hochul's administration has been such a mess with it.
We already know who the winners are going to be.
Industry in New York.
We already know who the winners are going to be in New York, bro. The winner is the trap.
That's right. That's right.
The trap always wins, man.
Yeah, the trap ain't losing New York. These people,
from a legal standpoint,
once a pre-roll can be delivered like DoorDash. Once a pre-roll can be delivered like DoorDash, and you can have messenger services that don't require an armored Mercedes Sprinter, there is so much opportunity in New York. Yeah. And when you say that the trap is going to win, the trap has been winning. But to Rico's point, New York is an incredibly exciting market. And to Todd's point, the question is when and how much bleeding does a company need to do before those better days arrive, right? And but there's one misstatement that I do want to disagree with, which Rico said there's a plethora of Punan, round, yum, good, kind, sweet, juicy, yum. No, actually, you said it kind of like that. There is a lot of biomass.
Sounds like a
misquote. But the restriction on the supply chain gets down to brick and mortar retail.
Hold on,
so you're right.
There's no good weed out there. There's no good weed out there.
Yeah, there is. It came from Cali.
Well, that weed, that's the child market
in Oregon.
Yeah, I'm talking about like in the New York system. There's no like real high end out there in the New York system. You get all these hemp growers selling all this 2-year-old weed out there right now.
That was a mistake that they made when they required you to have such hemp growing background to get a cultivation license.
I agree with that.
Okay, cool. You can grow something that I should maybe like make hempcrete out of, or should maybe, I don't know, rub on my grandma's knee. Now I should smoke it. It's also pronounced hokol, just so we're all clear. I wanted to just put some.
I prefer to.
Yes,
I prefer to.
We finally have somebody. We finally have somebody correcting.
It's not
Jason.
Hochul. It doesn't matter which side of the borough you grew up on. It's always Hokul.
It's Hokul.
I say it's
okay.
Let's be respectful. It's Hokul.
Well, when she comes on the show and tells me how to pronounce it correctly, then we'll worry about that at that point.
Hey, listen now. I'm on the show and I'm telling you how to pronounce it correctly. It's Hokul.
You do not look like her.
One more time. I'm hopeful that I can say it right.
You're hopeful for Hokul?
Hokul. Okay.
You're hopeful for Hokul?
Hokul. So the PH is silent. I get it. It's like any of those other complicated words. I think the challenge is that, when she talks about hiring an executive recruitment firm, that why am I going to be impressed by that process? The other thing also is she's disappointed in what her administration has done, and some heads rolled underneath her. But ultimately, leadership is about ownership of outcomes and all things. And so, if she was going to fire anybody, I mean, does she want to fire herself?
I would love that. Oh my God, that would be the best. I would do a cartwheel. If
wait a second,
straight up, I'll do a cartwheel
to sign
a cartwheel on the show.
Really?
If she fired herself,
you have to sign a petition and get her out of office just so we can see that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, can we please get a Photoshop version of Jason doing a cartwheel?
With the Melania statue in the background. Yeah. The other thing also to remember is, she said that, the article says that the other guy, Chris, was fired. Wait, they make some chronic in those hills. Them damn hills got some trichomes. So the thing that was also really challenging is it said that this Chris guy was fired for inefficiencies. I really actually have never heard of a government employee being fired for inefficiencies. I actually thought that was built into
promoted.
They usually get promoted. Exactly.
That's right.
So we would have been comfortable with inefficiencies. What we were not comfortable with was ineptitude and a complete lack of a rollout that gave us hundreds of stores in multiple years. So they're in their about third year now, and they've got less than 300 stores, right? And so we think about the dumpster fires that were, even some of the submarkets in California, some of the cities did better than that. And so this, and back to Rico's point about, isn't there a lot of great cannabis out there? It doesn't matter because you can't buy it because there's not enough retail to support the supply, which means that all those people are going to have to divert it or monetize it in questionable fashion if they don't want to sit on a bunch of biomass and let it oxidize. And so they created the trap, or they did a trap 2.0 with this. And so the other challenge I have about this article is that she talks about cracking down on the illicit markets as a priority. I don't think that a department that is tasked with standing up a regulated industry is the same department that should be tasked with regulating against the illicit market.
You know what their task should be, Yarrow?
That works.
You know what their task should be?
More Melania statutes.
Well, no. Their task as the OCM out there should be, how do we make these establishments more desirable for people to want to go and shop in, as opposed to going to the illicit market?
Or, how do we make sure they're actually able
that should be their task.
How do we make sure that we're protecting equity and it's not, some rich white guy, sorry, love white guys, do really truly do, behind all of these social equity licenses? I don't think that, that's the Steve D'Angelo plan. Remember what happened in Harborside when all of his competitors got arrested somehow? That's the Steve D'Angelo plan. I'll put you in jail and I'm going to take your spot. So that definitely shouldn't go hand in hand. And I heard somebody on this show at one point say that, why don't the licensed operators and the people call the police on the bodegas of New York? Bitch, what are you talking about? Why are you in this industry? That is crazy. That is crazy. The people who are pushing forward cannabis should not be the ones arresting.
I don't know. We're not getting it. But we are going to talk about. We do want to share one of these comments out here because I see Miss Zaza Simone Brown in the crowd today, and she says that everything sold in New York has California labeling on it. And she is so right about that. And one last thing I do want to wish. I meant to say this in the beginning of the show, so I do apologize. But I need to wish my aunt a happy birthday. Today is her birthday. It's my aunt. She watches the show every day. So Aunt Linda, I want to wish you a happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. And on that, we're going to go to a commercial, and we're going to be right back.
The Control Tower from Highly Educated has perfected the dab. Utilizing the concept of thin film evaporation, you can waste none of it and taste all of it. The micro texture of the SE pillar increases nucleation at elevated temperatures. And with the tower propelling at 2,600 RPMs, it's certainly the most efficient dab experience to date. The Control Tower from Highly Educated.
All right, stop whatever you're doing. Make sure that you hit that like button. I know you'll appreciate it, we'll appreciate it, and YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And all of the articles that we have on today's show, that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.high9news.com just after the show. I'm Jason Beck, and this is Smoky Vanilla. And if you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to get a stretch and smoke with Smoky Vanilla.
Hi, I'm Smoky Vanilla. I have my bachelor's degree in kinesiology, and I'm a sports massage therapist and stretch coach. I focus mostly on individuals that are in sport with chronic pain or injury. I love to intuitively create and customize a session based on the individual that I'm working with. We'll go over a few postural assessments, work together to create a wellness journey based on the health history, past injuries, or anything still affecting you today. And we'll get you back on your feet right away with less pain.
We're about to stretch, and then we're gonna smoke, because we're gonna get on our stretch and smoke. If you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to come on down and get a stretch and smoke with none other than Smoky Vanilla.
Yee. Next, we've got the Golden Voice, Las Vegas-based co-founder of the Smuggleverse. He's also president and founder at Digipath Labs, here to bless us with the voice that opens up everything. Todd Denkin.
Not sure what that means, but thank you, I think. Thank you. California hemp bill could bring clarity and squash intoxicating derivatives. This article by Kate Robertson over at MJ Biz Daily. As state governments nationwide grapple with how to regulate hemp-derived cannabinoids, California could integrate marijuana and hemp producers under new legislation. Assembly Bill 2223 also would restrict the hemp industry, particularly when it comes to intoxicating hemp products. AB 2223, which Assembly Majority Leader Cecilia Aguiar-Curry introduced in February, passed the Assembly floor with bipartisan support in May. The bill builds on AB 45, legislation from 2021 that permitted hemp-derived CBD to be used in food, drinks, and other products, temporarily banning smokable and inhalable products and increasing testing requirements for hemp products. But some hemp product makers exploit a loophole in the 2018 U.S. Farm Bill that measures THC content by weight instead of how intoxicating it is, according to Aguiar-Curry's office. And Governor Gavin Newsom in April directed the California Departments of Public Health and Alcohol Beverage Control to issue recalls and warnings about intoxicating hemp products. They do have enforcement in action, though. The CDPH issued a warning last week about Mary Jones hemp-infused sodas, which contain hemp-derived THC isolate, deeming them unsafe. I've introduced AB 2223 to protect public health by greatly enhancing the tools available to the state and local health and law enforcement officials to stop the sale of intoxicating hemp products, according to Aguiar Curry. We must act this year to enhance the restrictions of AB 45. We can adapt this constantly evolving illegal market. The bottom line is that if it gets you high, it should be sold in a dispensary, period. Aguiar Curry's bill states that licensed cannabis operators could manufacture, process, distribute, and sell regulated products that contain industrial hemp or hemp-derived cannabinoids, extracts, or derivatives, which would be tracked through the state's compliance system in the same way marijuana products are. Metacannabinoids, where the molecular structure of the cannabinoid has been changed, would not be permitted to be sold, even by licensed cannabis companies. Hemp can't contain more than 0.3% THC or a comparable cannabinoid such as Delta-8 or Delta-10 THC. Final products containing hemp can't contain more than 1 milligram of THC, and each serving per package can't exceed 0.25 milligrams. The bill has the support of the United Food and Commercial Workers Laborers Union, which represents cannabis workers in the state, and the California Cannabis Industry Association, CCIA. Cannabis products are excessively regulated and overtaxed, while intoxicating hemp products remain underregulated and subject to no special taxes, according to the CCIA president, Karen Woodson. AB 2223 presents an opportunity to reimagine a legal and regulatory framework for cannabinoids in California and beyond. Despite its heavy restrictions on hemp, California produces more hemp than any other state, according to the recently published U.S. Department of Agriculture's Census of Agriculture. Arif El-Sisi, founder of Terpene Belt Farms in Alameda County, first began working in the cannabis industry in 2007. As the regulatory environment of working in marijuana became too challenging and industrial hemp was legalized in 2018, he pivoted, founding the hemp-derived terpenes producer in 2019. Although El-Sisi would like to sell hemp-derived cannabinoids, Terpene Belt doesn't deal with cannabinoids at all. Instead, the company harvests and processes buds for terpenes on-site to preserve the most sensory qualities. Terpenes are then largely bought by regulated vape companies throughout the United States, and the rest of the plant is destroyed, El-Sisi told MJ Biz Daily. We would very much love to participate in producing and selling cannabinoids, but because of all the uncertainty, the lack of clarity, the poorly defined regulations, and the patchwork of state regulations, we actually compost all of our cannabinoid material, he said. El-Sisi and his team, including Terpene Belt Chief Legal and Regulatory Officer Pamela Epstein, are closely watching progress of both the 2024 Farm Bill and the state-sponsored hemp measures such as AB 2223. As a hemp operator looking for clarity to expand into cannabinoids, we would want to see a dual-use allowance and a clear integration that allows us to put products into regulated spaces, Epstein told MJ Biz Daily. But AB 2223 is controversial, he said. For one, when Californians voted in favor of Proposition 64, the ballot initiative that legalized recreational marijuana, they did not distinguish between hemp-derived THC and marijuana-derived THC, Epstein said. So, would selling the same compounds from a different source be a conflict with that? He wants to know. Some critics have expressed disappointment that AB 2223's low THC limit on hemp and final products could effectively ban full-spectrum hemp-derived CBD products, which would impact medical consumers who rely on them. Over time, we have big plans to pair our essential oil with cannabinoids in a federally legal interstate commerce situation, El-Sisi said, but until then, they'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm Todd Denkin with Iodine News, and do you think this hemp-derived THC bullshit will ever be settled?
I don't know.
I'll
big shout out to Pamela Epstein.
And big shout out to Sharif. And shout out to Sharif, quoted many times in that article. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. With this, if this was to go through, the retail sector is definitely going to need some financial money to come in, because a lot of these stores are going to have to ultimately expand to be able to accommodate for all of the different hemp products to be sold. because the shelf space is super tight already with just cannabis derived products, and now bringing hemp derived products, which I think ultimately would be fantastic for cannabis retailers in all reality, because then they wouldn't have all these little CBD shops everywhere and all of that. But at the same time, how are they going to, if they can't stop the illegal trap shops, how are they going to stop the hemp peddlers all throughout the state anyway? So, but ultimately I think it would be a big win for retailers if this was to go through.
Big love out to Sharif, man, on this, man. That's my guy. Would you welcome hemp-based products on any of
100%, because when they do that, they're going to have to ensure that we're the only ones that are the retailing that, and so therefore now that brings all of those customers that shop at these stores into the dispensary setting to purchase those products. So yeah, I would totally support this.
Right, but would you support it without governmental assistance for expansion?
What do you mean by that, Todd?
I mean, you said that you'll have to expand your shop, and where's that money come?
I never said the government was going to provide that.
Okay, so where's that coming from?
Well, it's going to have to come from the private market.
Would you make the investment yourself?
Yeah,
we need to add 20 more square feet on a shop right now, and to let these hemp motherfuckers in here.
Or maybe it's something.
Maybe put up a bookshelf.
You know what might also be a solution for this too, is because we have to live within the confines of reality of storefronts and whatnot. Is maybe since the local municipalities all have the ultimate control, they issue all the retailers a duplicate license for them to go and start a hemp shop in that sense, and so then that way they have two retails throughout in their city. Maybe that's an ultimate solution.
How many walk-ins a day do you get? Someone saying, "Do you have any hemp products?"
You know what? It's not that I get the walk-ins asking if we have hemp products. I get a lot of walk-ins that come in and ask if we only sell like intoxicating cannabinoids, and to which our response is, of course, yes. That's all that we sell, because California doesn't allow us to sell hemp-derived products currently.
Right.
No, but you can always make CBD products from, cannabis that doesn't have cultivars.
Oh, for sure.
So market and putting it out there, and I think that's only a access.
So the only trap we're willing to stop is the hemp trap.
The hemp trap. The hemp trap is almost
that damn illegal hemp market, right?
I mean, even Governor DeSantis
think about the kids. Think about the kids. How to stop that hemp market?
Yeah,
I just gotta say that was really funny, and I thoroughly appreciate being on the show with you. That was really good. Shout out to the founder of this company. Pamela Epstein is obviously a brilliant attorney. So double shout out, echoing what Saman said, and they also have a hidden gem in their staff, arguably one of the nation's preeminent hemp experts, a woman named Joanna Cedar, who coincidentally lives in Sebastopol and makes a mean homemade cookie. This company is understanding, to I think a larger degree than most, the uncertainty that the future still holds. Joanna Cedar once said, and I love to quote because it makes me seem smart, that hemp is just cannabis without offense. And I think we all know that until we start regulating cannabinoids according to whether they're intoxicating versus non-intoxicating, instead of which plant they come from, we're going to have major issues. There has been substantial pushback in the regulated industry from seeing hemp-derived cannabinoids be present on dispensary shelves. The thinking there is that because it took so much time and money to stand up those businesses, there's a little bit of like sour grapes at the idea that some swashbuckling hemp cowboy or cowgirl can come in, get their product on shelves, and not have to wait 27 years to get a license like it would take in New York if you wanted to have a dispensary. And the challenge there that I see is that cannabis is overregulated, hemp is underregulated, and until we find something in the middle that's pro-business and pro-safety and pro-adult access only, we're going to see these massive disconnects between what's happening on either side of that quote unquote fence. And so CCIA took a position that not everybody appreciates. Origins Council, I believe, has taken a different position. And I think that at the end of the day, personally, I think cannabis producers are going to need to take off their protectionistic lens and understand that hemp is an opportunity for the regulated industry, and that if it can be done cheaper, better at scale, and produce cannabinoids that the market and the customer wants, we should all be seeking a way to embrace those sources and to figure out how we still get the benefits of a regulated supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way to get this done is you lock all three sides. You have the THC side, the hemp side, and the regulators. You get them all into a room, lock the doors for a weekend, and just pump Warren G and Nate Dogg all weekend long, on loop, on repeat, and that's how you come out with some real regulated shit.
As much as I love that explanation, Colorado actually tried in 2017. They did a hemp pilot program for metrics. So you were able to register your hemp crops. You were able to put them on the track and trace system for availability to the regulated market there and to perform product formulations. So, I mean, it's been tried. I don't know how far we got with it, but, I mean, Warren G and Nate Dogg sound like a lot more fun.
They need to switch metric over to hemp. How about that? It'll actually work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like put it.
They tried to do the same regulations in Nevada as well. They tried to. The hemp industry was just kicking out. There was like 6 hemp farmers, then that turned into 60, and suddenly they tried to regulate it like cannabis, and it was too expensive for the cultivator, and now they're all growing alfalfa, right? Because they couldn't make any money from growing hemp because of regulations. So it's a catch-22.
How come nobody's ever growing beta?
Oh boy.
Ask yourself.
We're gonna keep this train rolling. Rico, do you want to introduce Jenny, or you want me to?
I gotta come up with that now, man.
Coming up. What's that?
All right, so
you impressed her so much.
I got it. I got it.
All right.
Coming up next, y'all know who it is. The one lady who can step in any room and check the shit out of Jason Beck.
Yeah, right.
She's a well-known cannabis industry executive.
She does try, but she never
behind Kind Cannabis Consulting and Justice Serve 501c3. Yeah, y'all know who it is. The true, absolute industry boss with Southern Georgia roots, built an unrivaled reputation in California and beyond, and now she's touching down in beautiful Long Beach to bless us with her presence. Come to the stage, none other than Jenny Beth Dills.
Damn, they just get better, Jason.
See, that's why I was trying to help you out, Jenny. You know what I'm saying? It's looking out for you.
Better.
Yeah.
And I came to Long Beach to have lunch with Anna. Don't get it twisted. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, right.
I know.
It's the longest of all beaches, you know.
Longest of all beaches. All right. So we're going down to Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, even their bullshit. All right. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sues Austin over marijuana ordinance. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's office is trying to stop the city of Austin from deprioritizing enforcement of low-level marijuana offenses. His office filed a lawsuit earlier this year with concern over the Austin Freedom Act, which voters approved in 2022. It deprioritizes enforcement of low-level marijuana possession, ending citations and arrests for Class A or Class B marijuana offenses. Lawyers with the AG's office say they're looking to put a temporary injunction on the ordinance until the lawsuit can go to trial. Assistant Attorney General Ryan Kircher said, under the current ordinance, law enforcement can only make citations or arrests for misdemeanor marijuana possession if it's part of a larger felony case or if they're investigating a violent felony. In the courtroom on Monday, Kircher said the ordinance contradicts current state law and the Constitution. The Texas Constitution puts in the discretion of the legislature what laws will criminalize different substances, what the criminal laws of the state will be. It is, that was not grammatically correct. All right, go ahead, ABC.
They do that sometimes.
It's plain that cities cannot create a patchwork of legal zones where sometimes state law matters and sometimes it does not, he says. Special counsel Jacob Prezada said the ordinance has also stripped law enforcement of their discretion to enforce the law. Yes. What we are not doing here is trying to get the defendants to get them to send more police onto the streets, to start arresting or citing more people. What we're trying to do is to get their discretion back, Prasada said. He said that the city of Austin has influenced other cities to adopt similar ordinances. The Attorney General's office has sued 4 other cities, including San Marcos and Elgin, over these policies. Prasada said inconsistency in rules will confuse people and claims it'll promote chaos. Have you seen regulated cannabis? What we're asking is that the state, when it looks at its subordinate political branches, political subdivisions, it sees uniformity. Because, can they just use an and? This is killing me.
Yeah.
Because uniformity is
just
important in ensuring, I'd rather talk shit about it, in ensuring efficient government and prospering at the interest of citizens, he said. Lawyers representing the city of Austin want the case to be dismissed, saying their policy is what the people voted for. Assistant City Attorney Shara Schaefer said 85% of voters who cast a ballot in May 2022 election voted in favor of the ordinance. Since then, it's been unchallenged. She said changing the policy would confuse people and potentially increase misdemeanor marijuana arrests, which she claims law enforcement can't handle. Schaefer said forensic labs don't test any marijuana in misdemeanor cases because they don't have the workforce or funds to do so. They're basically asking the city to reallocate resources in its crime lab to validate and process to be able to test the concentration of THC levels. A massive amount of work, money, time, resources that will take the focus away from the other things the crime lab is doing, like testing fentanyl overdose cases, she said. When you look at it in that light, the city clearly has discretion on how to allocate its resources, on how to enforce state law, while not allocating resources to something that will be extremely difficult to carry out. Ground Game Texas is the advocacy group that collected the signatures to get the initiative on the ballot. Mike Siegel, its political director, said the policy is important for democracy reasons, not only because Austin voters decided on it, but also because it reforms some parts of the criminal justice system. Historically, marijuana has been something that's disproportionately enforced against Black and Latino communities. There's been a lot of racism in the enforcement, he said. Siegel said he hopes the court will continue to keep the ordinance in place. From what I understand, there's been no negative impacts of this policy, that there hasn't been any crime wave or massive, abuse of marijuana. But instead, the city has been able to allocate its scarce police resources towards higher priority public safety needs, he said. Kircher with the AG's office said that they just want to return discretionary power to law enforcement and said contradicting rules can cause harm in the long run. Schaefer with the city of Austin said the state doesn't have evidence of any real harm caused by the policy. Siegel said his group wants to uphold the voices of Austin voters. The Attorney General decided to file a suit against the city. I believe for the Attorney General's own political purposes, it's not because there's any public safety concern, because frankly, I don't think anyone in Austin is complaining about this ordinance. Rather, it's a political agenda from the Attorney General, Siegel said. Judge Jan Sofer of the 345th, Travis County District Court said she will take time to consider both arguments and come to a decision on whether to grant the injunction or dismiss the case. It's not clear when that decision will be made. And I think it's weird that Texas, a state who might secede, Texas, a state who says they can do whatever the hell they want in Texas, doesn't like it when one of their own cities takes up the same spirit. I think that's insanely interesting, and I think that this is going to be wild. We're keeping Austin weird, and I hope it stays weird.
Yeah. Shout out to Austin, man. Over there, Soham's town, and also Stone Slade's hometown.
Shout out to Stone Slade.
Yes. Man, you guys. I mean,
your boy Ken Paxton.
Yeah, Ken Paxton is always.
Jason?
Yeah, Ken Paxton is
your boy.
He's we need to work on him, bro. He needs to evolve on this issue. That's just what it is, and ultimate.
You know what it takes to get them to evolve is money.
It's right. It's right. And right now they're taking all the money through 280E.
Who's feeding his pockets right now?
Right.
It's law enforcement's feeding his pockets. Lots of money. Lots of money.
His biggest donors.
Oh boy, here we go.
Are we not going to talk about Ken Paxton's own issues with criminality and his cases and all of the things that make him?
Hey man, he was acquitted. Unlike another big name Republican, he was acquitted. Ken Paxton, they showed up and they didn't show up.
Felonies
key
don't
witnesses
matter
did not show up.
What type of felonies? What type of felonies was he charged with, Yarrow?
Key witnesses just didn't show up in Ken Paxton's
through
case.
A variety of securities issues. I mean, we could do a deep dive on it, but I think instead of doing a deep dive on it, let us just point out the irony of a gentleman whose job is to enforce the law, who in his personal life doesn't seem to have that same passion. And so very misdirected effort.
Yarrow, I have to fight back. I have to push back on that one because I am a believer in if somebody is truly guilty, then the courts will say that they're guilty. And the courts did not say Ken Paxton was guilty. So, it is what it is.
It is what it is. If the glove does not fit, you must acquit.
This is America, and in other cases where people actually did get hit with a guilty plea, whether it's 1 time or 34 times, then you can 100% label those folks.
Well, why don't we talk about how we have a legal system that's not a level playing field, and this gentleman was able to avoid for 10 years the issues related to these securities crimes and the idea that investors were built. So 10 years, if you can stall justice for 10 years, they say, the defense attorneys say there's no better defense than father time. And what it means is the longer you age a case, the less likely something is going to happen that's going to be to your detriment.
Well, at the same time with that, Yarrow, that's why once you do obtain, most attorneys will always tell you it's never good advice to waive time.
Right. Well, I stalled it for 5 years without an attorney, so I don't know how that's done even, and I got a dismissal on that too. So I guess, whatever. But hey, I'm not mad at, I root for the bad guy. Like, I'm not mad at somebody, you know what I mean? Show me one person who's in a position of absolute power where they can either make a tremendous amount of money, it's usually a tremendous amount of money, and they don't do their own personal best interest. It's fucking human nature. I'm not going to fault the guy for it, but the court said he's not guilty, so glove doesn't
Look
fit.
at that. Not guilty.
Scharbauer is a Midland oil mogul and the biggest donor to Texas Republicans, and he is given.
This is to Ken Paxton, not to Republicans in general.
Let me finish.
All right.
This past year, he's given Paxton $175,000, Tim Dunn $150,000, Kyle Stallings $100,000, and Dallas hotelier Monty Bennett $100,000. So Big Cannabis needs to match that.
Yeah. Well, hold on, that's just the money. That's just the money that's trackable. That's no dark money.
Listen, I know we have to move on, but I have to correct the record. Ken Paxton was not found innocent and did not go to trial. So while you profess to have this love for the judicial system, he didn't go to trial. He was never ruled innocent by a jury of his peers. I fact-checked the heck out of y'all. He settled it with the government and paid a big fine after 10 years.
Okay.
So,
hey, whatever. I mean, Nolo Contendere is not guilty. It's not innocent. It's not guilty. It is what it is. And I don't love the judicial system. Please don't ever quote me saying that.
I was talking about your compatriot Rico here, who said, "Hey,
well, he beat the impeachment. He beat the impeachment, right? Donald Trump was never removed from office, right?
Case. He did not beat the criminal case.
And I think
isn't an impeachment hearing, is that not considered a trial?
That's separate from his security.
Is it not considered a trial?
It is. It's a proceeding.
It's a trial, right?
Jason Beck's trying to double dutch, like jump into this conversation right now.
Yeah, so he beat the case.
We're gonna, we're gonna move it along, bro. Are you ready, Rico?
Either way, everybody up here, it's all fuck Ken Paxton except
100%. I'm with you on that, but I think all this back and forth about all this is, I think the more important thing to realize is that they still have not prosecuted anybody from the Jeffrey Epstein case.
Right.
That's the important part.
And we still have not seen the list. We've still not seen that list. No, but I would like to say my big condolences and to the people of Texas that continue to feel the pain of Republican leadership.
Whoa!
Wow!
Whoa! Shout out to all the activists out there that are pushing against this prohibitionist mindset. And I will call Ken Paxton not a true Republican because he is not about freedom and liberty.
Yeah, and let's.
If you're about freedom and liberty, that includes women's rights to choose.
Whoa. We're not getting into all that, bro. We're not getting into none of that.
Jesus Christ. I mean, like, shout out to all the people who keep trying to prevent cannabis from being a bipartisan issue, because that's why we're never going to get any fucking where, because everybody on the left is like, fuck the Republicans. And we're like, what are you guys talking about?
Their arguments fall on deaf ears often when they have that type of attitude. That's true. Fair enough.
Just tell him how much you love Jesus. That's how Trump got him to fall in line. But anyways,
gotta love some Jesus, baby.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
let's talk about that. Is Saman bounce out for the day?
I don't see Saman. I think he was having some internet troubles, to tell you the truth, because his sound didn't sound amazing on that second go around.
No.
His sound wasn't sounding.
Yeah. We're gonna have to help him with his internet.
Do you want to summarize his?
Oh yeah. Here, let me pull that up for you, Rico. Yeah, most definitely. Hold on.
Yes, his is a very important story that I already got plenty of comments on. So.
Oh, I bet.
I was looking forward to this.
I bet. Here we go. Marijuana rolling paper company will pay $4.20 to volunteers to smoke joints for science, you guys. That's right. A marijuana rolling paper company is looking for 200 volunteers to participate in a study where they'll be paid $4.20 to smoke 2 free pre-rolls and provide feedback on their smokability. Day Savers announced on Monday that it's partnering with the Cannabis Research Coalition and the Network of Applied Pharmacology, NAP, for its Science of Smokability study, which will investigate how different cultivation and processing practices affect consumers' smoking experience. This research not only has the potential to improve product quality and consistency, but also promote sustainability, profitability, and a deeper scientific understanding of cannabis as a medical and adult use product, the company said in a press release. Adults 21 and older are being invited to participate in the experiment. Day Savers said it will randomly select 200 volunteers who will be paid the symbolic $4.20 stipend to test 2 cannabis joints that will be shipped to them. How are they going to ship them to them? Over the course of 2 years, researchers will conduct controlled laboratory tests and look at consumer data to help inform best practices. And the study will additionally explore how variables such as mineral, nutritional, and moisture content affect ash color, smoke composition, and smoke quality. Harrison Bard, CEO of Day Savers and its parent company, Custom Cones USA, said, through this research, we will be shedding light on some major unknowns in the cannabis industry. This type of research exists and has been proven to be extremely important in the tobacco industry, so we are excited to pave the way for a safer and more enjoyable future for the cannabis industry, where quality standards are at the forefront of cannabis cultivation and pre-roll product development, he said. Allison Justice, founder of the Cannabis Research Coalition, said the partnership highlights the pivotal importance of industry-wide collaboration and underscores the significance of research initiatives for shaping the future of the cannabis sector. In a following quote, this cross-departmental research collaboration extends beyond mere acquisition of sustainable and profitable cultivation and post-harvest. Well, why'd you do that? Post-harvest metrics. We are actively establishing the benchmarks for ensuring the highest standards in producing flower intended for combustion, she said. Day Saver said the first phase of findings will be published in the coming months and will demonstrate how to optimize cultivation metrics to save time and money and resources to enhance product quality. The overall study results will also be shared with the cannabis team at the standard organizations, basically ASTM International, which last year helped to add a pair of new marijuana items to a federal handbook that are meant to provide model standards for cannabis definitions, packaging, and labeling requirements, and best storage practices to control for moisture loss in marijuana flower. Day Savers separately launched a campaign in March to hire for what it calls the ultimate stoner dream job, seeking a content creator to get paid to smoke weed. The full-time social media creator and event marketer job pays $70,420 with perks including cannabis product testing and all expenses paid travel to marijuana events. The campaign is reminiscent of the time that cannabis icon Snoop Dogg disclosed in 2019 that he pays a person between $40,000 to $50,000 per year to roll blunts for him. The National Institute on Drug Abuse, NIDA, has also previously solicited help to acquire and develop and produce marijuana cigarettes for research purposes. Well, you guys, what do you think about this? I mean, first of all, I think that's employment that's an HR violation, paying these people just $4.20. That's way below the minimum wage here in California, but I'm going to digress on that and see what you guys have to say about this.
I mean, it wasn't Day Savers, didn't that start out as the company that sold us like the daily box of China glass, so we're worried about quality now? And two,
I think that's a different company that you're thinking of.
Okay.
Yes.
Excuse me. Sorry, I thought that's what whatever.
Come out against compensation that was below the minimum wage. Did we just hear a Republican talk about the minimum wage?
I'm just calling balls and strikes.
Listen,
bro.
I'm gonna protect my little buddy. You guys are attacking him today.
Whoa. They always attack me.
I don't like this.
Little buddy. Hey there, little buddy.
Get used to it, because when he shows up on my phone, it says my pinata. So I'm just banging that.
I got him a pinata for his birthday, so we'll go back to that. But I mean, I think it's really interesting that they went ahead and snitched themselves out and said they're going to ship it to you. And put their names in there. I'm like,
that's crazy to me.
Shout out to good old USPS.
Yeah, you're gonna get popped. You're gonna get popped for $4. Like, at least move that decimal over two positions over there. Give me 420. Even if this is for scientific research or anything like that. Like, have y'all ever done any of those studies? You get paid decently on those.
Not on this one. Not on this one. $4.20 to smoke some boof.
They need to.
That's harsh. And they're sending you 2 pre-rolls, so you know it's probably not going to be amazing already.
Right.
It's all dried up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all dried
all
up.
crusty.
Imagine they don't spring for the premium shipping. It takes 7 to 10 business days to get there.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh man.
This should get rerouted out of state and come back.
I just don't understand why. I think they should be paying these people $420 instead of $4.20.
Or save the money, give them a lower payment, and fly them out here. Make it a little trip. Let them sit there.
Yeah, let them create a whole experience.
And there's your influencer content. Also, Adam Hill, if you're out there, look, they're paying $70,000. They need a new influencer, and yes.
Yeah, I mean, I do got to give it. I got to give it to Day Savers. I know Nick Bradley in the audience said they have a decent product and everything. I have not seen or
I have not
experienced.
Yeah,
their products. But you gotta give it to them, man. They paying people to consume, and they've been staying in the news for this.
They have. That is true. They have been on their marketing game strong on this. That's for sure. I know, because we covered that first article, and we cover in this one. So. Yeah.
There we go. So they're on the
they did 710 on the first one because they're paying somebody $70,000, and this one $420. Like $420. Come on, they need to up that. But
yeah, that just sounds cheap, bro. Like I don't even want to try the weed if you're only paying $4.20.
Yeah, it was at $2.10 a joint.
Yeah, and I wonder too, because since they're trying to get all this data out of all these people, first of all, what's going to qualify these people to be actually know what they're talking about in that sense? And then on a second. On a second hype, do you think these people are going to really give them the right answers that they're really searching for? If they're only being paid $4.20? No, they're just going to be like, oh, I'm gonna get these 2 joints. I'm gonna smoke them. I'm gonna click these couple things and boom, I'm done. No, they're not going to get the real answers that they're going to want.
I might see some wild, ignorant shit. I'll say some like wild, ignorant shit. They underpaying me.
See what I'm saying?
Like paid employee. I'll be the one black person in the office you cannot fire because there's only one of me in there just doing some mad ignorant shit, just like I did in corporate finance. Every day coming there smelling like straight dope. Fire me? Y'all gonna fire me? Nope. There's no more.
Exactly. Yep.
Just like that.
Hey, unicorn.
Cones.
Jesus Christ.
When Rico was a unicorn.
Oh, Rico. You can hear me and Rico in the cornered events when it's just us
Back when I
together.
was
I have many a times. Don't worry.
Giggling, y'all just walk away. We're on some shit.
I've sat around for a few of those conversations. They are kind of fun. But nonetheless, any final thoughts on this, Yarrow?
Well, I mean, if someone's going to say some wild, ignorant shit, we might even give them a guest spot on the show, right? I think that, first of all, I do want to push back against the idea that this company incriminated itself by talking about shipping things.
That is incriminating.
Let me finish. It's your show. It's my minute.
That's fair.
So there are some ways to compliantly deliver product that would be too lengthy of an explanation for the average reader.
I totally agree with you, but there's a big difference between delivering and shipping, Yarrow. There's a big difference between those two definitions if you look them up in the dictionary.
Yeah, the state of California says you can't deliver by air or sea unless you're going to the 2 dispensaries that are located on Catalina Island. And I believe this is a California-based company, right? So that would make that argument.
But I just want to push back against the idea that they are incriminating themselves.
They are incriminating themselves because they said that they're going to ship it to you. They should have said, we'll have it delivered to you. That would have been the appropriate response.
Oh, yeah. All those Instagram trappers and the Telegram guys need to say delivered, not shipped. That's what they need
so
to
their
do.
compliance person, I'm sure, had no hand in writing the press release that got covered, whatever. My point is just that for those that don't know, there are ways to ship things to people through a regulated supply chain, through a delivery service. That's how product gets to people. And unless you're a geek in the supply chain, those little details are going to be lost on people. I do think that Jason actually touched on a good point this morning. And so we should give him at least a single prop airplane at the very minimum. And that was the level of accountability that comes with a remuneration that's less than a $5 bill. And so I do think that with greater compensation, one typically can expect greater accountability in terms of detail, feedback, response. And so when you do this seems a bit more like it's playing to the press than it's, hey, I'm going to give you money to get your feedback. And with that exchange, I want a high level of specificity. I want you to pay attention to what you're sharing with me. And I want you to really block out some time and some bandwidth to be able to share that experience. And at $4.20, you have a press release amount, not an accountability. The compensation is just, I mean, it's not worth the time it takes to cash that check. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, 100%.
Exactly.
That's going to bring me to the first time that I truly 110% agree with Yarrow. I think that it's definitely a PR move as opposed to, I mean, like, are we really trying to prove like bro science? Is this a white ash argument? Are we doing this?
I mean, you did see they did start to talk about that. They did start to reference the type of the ash in the article and whatnot. So that's definitely a white ash trying to
Guess what color cigarette ash burns?
We all know this, Jenny.
White on black pants, black on white pants.
Is Jason's favorite derivative.
I'm actually the chancellor of Bro Science University.
I want to see the road.
BSU.
Exactly, BSU. Exactly, bro. Bro Science University.
Man. We're way over time. I blame it on Jenny Beth, and it's not because you're a woman, and it's not because you're black either. So,
oh man,
that's why
there's no more racism has been ended now that there's 2 of us on the show.
Look at that. Look at that, man.
I called Rico yesterday. He said, "When we blackity black."
Cute. Let's go, Rico. It's time to go.
We did have that conversation last night, and I did say that.
Yeah.
But thank you all for joining us for yet another episode of High at 9 News. You can catch us live weekdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to the Superfan showing love getting their comments posted on the big screen and announced live by the team. You can be one too. Just give us a little money like Ken Paxton. Grease our pockets. You know what I'm saying? We just give a shout out whenever you need. To our live audience and online supporters, catching us across all media platforms, tuning in each day to the headlines of chaos, also known as the developing cannabis industry, to our vetted correspondent team tuning in from all over, bringing us much needed variety of perspective and your respected opinions to the table. Our production team, Cloud Media Partners, all the sponsors keeping our lights on and AV struggles to a minimum. Adam is back in the building. He is flown down like the bird on the biggest feather down in the mean streets of Long Beach. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. As always, Cannabis Sativa L, the reason the High at 9 News team reads these headlines every single day. Thank you, too. It has been Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. The show's over. You've been blessed with the top industry headlines. Hope it's enough for you to put in your pipe and smoke at least until tomorrow. Today, the Sebastopol Sage burning shit up there in Sebastopol. You got us, man. Take us out. Mr. Trifocal himself.
Damn.
The part that hurts about that is you're not wrong. That's the part that hurts. So next week I'm gonna be. Yeah, next week I'm gonna be doing a speech at my little sister's wedding, and I realize I may not have the right set of eyewear to be able to look at the people right next to me and the people out in the crowd, and I might just have to go back to that Clint Eastwood squint. So look, this is Yarrow Kubrin, the Sebastopol Sage. Thank you everybody for tuning in to High at 9 News here on Tuesday. The good news is we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Like, share, subscribe. And without you viewers, we wouldn't have the opportunity to come here and have a lot of fun every day. So thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Oh, yeah. Burn some sage, turn the page.
The thoughts, opinions,